Happy Christmas! Welcome to another Woodland Wednesday. We're in December, as you know, because this will go out in a couple of days' time. In fact, tomorrow. Another Woodland Wednesday. Back to the gathering trees, I'm going to call these guys. This is the one that last time I was here I got a cracking image of. I don't think I'm going to beat it. I've been up to Norfolk, up to my base up there, and I had a little scouting mission, took my little dog Millie with me, and most of the trees are blown away. Most of the leaves on the trees are blown away. So the colour's pretty much gone, so I'm not that hopeful for today. We've had our first frost. Actually, we've now had 3 frosts, and we've promised some really cold weather the next few days. So I'm really hoping that the fighting trees next Wednesday are going to be looking a lot better. I'm hoping that the brambles might finally gone or finally died off. So we'll see. I'm going to make my way over now to the gathering trees and we'll see what we've got there. But just to let you know, if you celebrate Christmas, then you'll know that Christmas this year is a Sunday, which is when my vlogs are released. So, but you may not celebrate Christmas, and if you don't, that's fine as well. But I'm going to release a vlog on Christmas Day. You may not get a chance to see it because you may well be asleep on the sofa, but it's going to be released anyway. And what I thought I would do is to do a top 10 images of the year, or from when I launched the channel, really. So I launched the channel last week in August, and we're now in December and we're still going. Views did well, and then all of a sudden there seems to have dropped off a little bit, but I'm not going to let that deter me, because it's really a sort of more of a long game, this kind of job. And actually, views or not, I'm really enjoying taking pictures. It's been brilliant. My photography's come on a lot. I'll talk a little bit next week, maybe, or on the Christmas special, about what I've learned, and give a reflection on my 3 months doing this. I've also got, so next week we've got a video of why you should shoot woodland in the rain. It was a very wet day, but actually some really good images on that. And then we're off to Scotland for the first of my 4 Scottish Highland videos, so I hope you can check all of those out. There will be a Woodland Wednesday next week. I don't think I'm going anywhere but the inevitable Christmas shopping to do, but we're going to try and do that tomorrow. So, wow, let me just show you the trees. Not much left. Let's have a look at this. I'll put the vlogging camera up in a minute and you'll be able to see, but we have got absolutely 0 leaves on these trees now. So this is not going to be much of a picture, but I'm going to shoot it now I'm here, and then we'll go back to my study and we'll have a look at what we've discovered. We'll have a look at the last few weeks. I think we've got about 4 weeks from here. Right, let's get on with it. Look, there's nothing left, just the trees. All the leaves have gone, which means the sky is going to be imposing on the picture, which I'm not going to enjoy too much. The oak trees in the back look nice, but they've gone a lot later than these birches have done. So the silver birches have shed their leaves long ago, and the whole scene just looks bare. Now I wouldn't normally shoot this. Oh, by the way, I've changed my hat, because there's people going past wondering what I'm doing. I wouldn't normally shoot this because there's nothing really much to photograph. I mean, it's still a lovely composition. I still love this fence, but there's no light, there's no colour really to speak of, which is what normally attracts me to it. So I'm going to shoot it anyway, and then what we'll do is go back to the office. I'll show you on my screen all of the pictures from these last from this location over the last few Woodland Wednesdays. There was 3, 4, 5 of these, I can't remember, but we'll have a look at them in turn, and we just see how things have developed. I don't know what's quite going to happen with Woodland Wednesday after next week, because next week I'm hoping that the fighting trees may have changed colour. I mean, it may well be that if they haven't, we may do that in a couple, maybe that for 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm not going to come back here, I don't think, because there's no real point, unless it snows, of course. So you might see these guys again if it's snowing. I've got a layer of snow on them. I have to think of something else to do on a Wednesday, but I've really enjoyed coming out on a Wednesday and photographing these trees, so I definitely do something. But next week I'll be back at the fighting trees, and maybe the week after, we'll see, because we were promised some cold weather. Tomorrow is going to get really cold, and we've had our first frost of the year the other day, but hopefully we're going to have some more frost very shortly, which is exciting. This is my prime time now. Sunrise is about 10 past, 8:15, which is perfect. It means you haven't got to get up early, so I've really enjoyed coming out here. Let's get this done, get back into the warm. I'll see you back at the office. This is the first time I've shot this. I've been eyeing it up for quite some time. The actual composition stays pretty much the same throughout, you know. I've always seen this as a panoramic, and I haven't really changed my mind. So in this, you can see the leaves are lovely. I mean, there's been quite a few leaves that have fallen still. I don't know whether they're last year's. I wouldn't have thought so, but they are quite thick, so some good leaf mould there. We've got some nice mint greens in the background, which I like, and a full set of leaves on these beech trees. If we go to the next one, you see that a few have started to change colour. I was quite excited about that. There's some overexposed sunlight in the background in this little dip here. You can't see the stump at the end of this silver birch stump, which is quite nice, because I don't really like that element. That's the one thing I'd probably change. And the fence looks like it carries on, but we know it doesn't. But the interest is all about the colour through here. It still wasn't quite right. I remember being quite excited, and I remember being very excited when I saw this. This is lovely. The colour's gone completely. It was raining, so the background looks lovely and misty. Some lovely blues, contrasting with the yellows and the greens and the browns. It looks lovely. That's my favourite shot. I'm really happy with that. As you may have noticed from my reaction. And this is this week's. So it's not the worst in the world. I mean, as a picture, it doesn't really hold together. I mean, you've got the fence running through it, but this element and these elements, so these silver birches and this birch, don't really hang together because the branches are bare. You need leaves to pull the whole thing as a composition. But I do like the colours in there. That's really, really lovely. That would make quite a nice little square crop. I like the colours actually in there, and it still looks a little bit misty. And this was shot about 10:30, but there's still an element of mist in here, just hanging around, which you get at this time of year. I'm quite excited to look to seeing that in various places. So it's not the worst picture, but really, without that standing out and being connected by the branches, it doesn't really work as a panoramic. But there we go. So that's the gathering trees. I really enjoyed photographing them, and I'm certainly going to go back if the weather changes, or maybe we'll come back in the spring and watch it come into bud. So thanks ever so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It'd be great to have you on board, and I will see you next week when I will be with the fighting trees. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that those brambles have started to die off a little bit. Until next week then, goodbye.